What's happening, guys? Sam Adams here, and today we're going to be talking about the PlayStation announcement. But first, before all of that, a little bit of housekeeping. Number one, obviously have a little bit of a cold thing going on in the chest. Just deal with it. You know, I don't like it any more than you do. Number two, sorry about missing the drop this week. I was in Ohio, and then we had a loss of a family member, so I had to deal with some of that stuff. But we're back. The show keeps on going. The beat goes on, and the beat goes on, and I've been watching the Get Down. But PlayStation meeting tonight. Big deal. So this thing was called a couple of weeks ago, and then the PlayStation 4 Slim model, whatever it may be called, was leaked. It looks like it's just going to be called the PlayStation 4. We've talked about that before in several videos. If I have any, I'll link them somewhere around my face here. But tonight is actually the big event, or rather this afternoon. Now this is going to be what I think is going to happen, and I'm going to upload this thing straight away so that you guys can kind of see what my hopes and dreams are, what my ideas are, what I think is actually going to happen. And then this Friday, we're going to be talking about the event itself, breaking it down, any big news stuff in On the Topic Of, which is a weekly series I do right here on the channel. Now that all of that's taken care of, let's go ahead and jump into what I think is going to happen, what I hope is going to happen, all of that good stuff at today's PlayStation meeting. Alright, so right off the bat, I think they're going to announce a tiered console system, kind of like what Xbox has been doing over the course of the past couple of months. So of course, with the next generation of Xbox, so to speak, you're going to be able to play games across all of the consoles that are out there. You're going to be able to play the same games on Scorpio, on the Xbox One S, and on the Xbox One. Obviously, you're going to be getting some performance differences, as we've already seen with the Xbox One S, but I think this is what PlayStation is going to be doing to some degree, but not necessarily in the same way. Pretty much, I think that a game now is going to be kind of representative of a prepaid card, so to speak. Whenever you go out and buy your PlayStation Network for the year, or the PlayStation Plus for a year, you're going to be able to insert your disc into the PlayStation Neo with a PlayStation 4 Slim or a PlayStation 4, and it's pretty much just going to allow you to install a copy of that game for that respective system. That seems like a pretty good way that would work, and I could definitely see that working out in the long run. So that's kind of what I'm thinking they're going to be doing on the console side of things. Now next up, no mention of the PlayStation Vita, which is something that's really disappointing to me. Of course, you guys know I love my Vita. I play it at least probably once a day whenever I'm just laying in bed or whatever. Because of PlayStation Plus, they have so many good games that come out for this particular handheld with that service. That being said, Sony knows that Nintendo has the handheld market where, you know, hardcore gamers are playing on dedicated devices pretty much locked down. You've got the new Nintendo 3DS, you've got the original 3DS, you have tons of options from Nintendo, and Sony doesn't really need to have a new handheld out there in the wild, and plus, the people that have a PlayStation Vita are very happy with the Vitas that they have right now. So since you have that hardcore dedicated fan base, there really isn't a reason to try and build up a more hardcore and more dedicated fan base out of that. Now that being said, it would be very cool to see a new kind of Vita, a new model of the Vita, perhaps an entirely new system, or at least some kind of mention of a Vita at a press conference. That would be great to acknowledge that it still exists, but that's probably not going to happen. Now next up, they are definitely going to be talking about the PlayStation Virtual Reality Headset, PlayStation VR. It's coming out on October the 13th, which is just over a month away, so to not talk about it would just be weird, and it would be kind of foreboding of failure right out of the gate, which I don't think is going to happen. I think it's going to be a pretty popular peripheral, but it is going to be kind of pricey, so they are going to definitely show some kind of sizzle reel, I would say, that is going to be showing off the games at launch, the games over the course of the next couple of months, and they might even go into what the hardware can actually do and how everything works, maybe a little bit more to kind of sell the consumer, but it would be weird if they didn't talk about it, so expect them to talk about it for at least, I would say, 5 to 10 minutes. Now, of course, they are also going to be talking about some games, or I would hope they're going to be talking about some games, because, you know, no matter what the consoles look like, no matter what they perform like, no matter how big of a rig you have, it is all about the games at the end of the day. And so I personally think we're going to be seeing more from Days Gone, which has been Studio's new open-world zombie apocalyptic survival kind of thing, which looks to be really, really good. It blew me out of the water at Sony's E3 press conference, and I think it is going to be one of their flagship titles coming out in the next couple of years. years. Then we're going to be seeing some kind of Kingdom Hearts 3. Now this one is a little bit weird because the Xbox One version of the game was supposedly canceled a couple of days ago, and it's popped back up on a Japanese website at the time of making this video. So we don't know if it's gone PlayStation 4 exclusive, if it's going to be multi-platform, we don't know. But it is definitely time to talk about this game because it has been out there in the wild so long, people are starting to kind of get a little bit hesitant on, trusting the Kingdom Hearts 3 name. Now following that, I would definitely expect to see some Star Wars Battlefront expansion talk, with Rogue One coming out in the next couple of months. That would be some interesting stuff to see. And of course, Crash Bandicoot gameplay. We didn't think it was going to happen. It popped up at E3. We need to see some gameplay of this thing to start getting people more and more excited for what is to come for Crash Bandicoot. Now, of course, all of this has been very factual. There has been evidence to back up everything I've said up until this point, but this stretch goal is one that I really would love to see happen, and that is a Jak and Daxter HD collection, or at least a remake of the original Jak and Daxter, kind of like how they redid Ratchet and Clank earlier in the year. Now, I don't want a movie with this one. We don't need a Jak and Daxter movie. There's no reason for that. That being said, I would love to see the same kind of treatment for Jak that Ratchet and Clank got, because they both are pretty representative of a certain time period that a lot of us experienced. They were what I personally grew up on, and so to see those franchises come to the PlayStation 4 in, completely remade glory, that would be absolutely great, and I could kind of see that happening if people did want it enough. And I mean, we're living in a year where Crash Bandicoot is getting a remaster. Let's, you can hope for some pretty out there things nowadays. Now, of course, for those that are interested in watching the live show, it's going to be at live.playstation.com, and of course broadcast across twitch.tv from multiple platforms if you did want to look there, but live.playstation.com is where you can definitely get it at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time if you were interested in watching it. I know that I will have to be watching a recap of it. I actually have class at that time, but that being said, I'm really excited to see where the future of PlayStation lies, and I hope that you are too. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please drop me a like down below and let me know what you think is going to happen at today's PlayStation meeting. Do you expect a Slim? Do you expect a Neo? Do you expect just a ton of games? Do you expect kind of a pre-game for PSX that's coming this December? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And if you happen to be new to the channel or you've never seen any of my other content, I do upload new stuff like 3 or 4 days a week depending on the week, and there's always something new right here on the channel when you drop by to watch some videos. But as for right now, I gotta go to work, so I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.